It's actually bring you back in time in the 19th century. So when you come here, you almost can imagine in those days how the British were living in Singapore. So with the English landscape and the houses that they built. So there's those two black and white houses called the Atbara, and the other one, House 7, is called the Inverturret. So I'm Sok. I'm the volunteer guide for Botanic Gardens, Singapore. Today I will be your guide. So Atbara was built in 1898 by the British lawyer called John Bergenshaw, after which he actually sold it to Mr. MacArthur, the chairman of Street Trading Singapore. Those two buildings are early examples of the British houses in Singapore. So you can find little telltale things like the high ceiling, the arches, and also House Atbara has the smallish design of the raised areas at the bottom of the buildings. And these two houses actually leased to the French, and Atbara was used as an embassy itself, whereas for Inverturret was being assigned to the French ambassador's residence.
I visited Atbara when it was the French embassy. So I remember, having to walk up the flight of stairs, passport in hand, to get my visa done. When I walk in, you have a kind of counter. There were maybe some desks at this side on my left. It didn't have very much space, this front part. And I guess, the embassy operations were really behind that, and this was really the reception area. Yeah, so that's really what I saw. I think the first time I'm back here, it was really a wow moment because it's so beautifully restored. If you want to keep buildings alive, I think you have to put in a lot of effort into retaining the elements, that they were originally fitted out with. And at the same time, you have to find new uses for them and appreciate them.
The Botanical Art Gallery is set within the Gallop Extension, which complements it beautifully. Gallop House 7 is from the early 20th century, and I think that displaying artworks in a setting which was created around the same time is truly fitting. In a way, it brings us back in time to when the artworks were made. So it's quite interesting to see how plants that are nowadays very familiar to us were worthy of being illustrated more than 200 years ago. But they will only be here for a short period of time. Just roll them up nicely. They can be all rolled together. Oh, it's not the two. It's a huge collection, and they're all this size. So we chose representative ones. So those are from New Zealand and Australia. The ones installed here will be from Java, and next door will be from Madeira, from South America, and from Tahiti and neighboring regions. We have an activity room where people can have a go at very simple techniques of botanical art, and so we hope that at least the children will be inspired to draw plants, and maybe they will in the future become the next generation of botanical artists here in Singapore.
We like going to the playground and the museums. I don't do anything. She just draws.
我经常来这里，因为我们家里面离这里不远。通常我们走走在这里，然后就做一个野餐。以前我们在莫里没有出生的时候，我跟我先生2个人在英国住了几年，所以我们感觉坐在这里，然后看到对面那个博物馆，然后这里的树很高，然后很绿，感觉很像英国，所以很有亲切感来到这里。
Now it looks like a fish head of clothes.
Houses like these tend to have big grounds around them. It was mainly for the private use. But I think today you find that, the whole space has been transformed. It's a very pleasant space to come, enjoy the greenery, enjoy the views, and enjoy, the lawn of the house.
This cloud here is pretty moody. I want to capture that. When I actually came up and these two mansions like showed itself, I was like, wow. What I felt was really interesting was the road leading up to the mansion at the back. So this road gives like a S-curve for the viewer's eye to like kind of slowly traverse through the painting into the mansion. So like this arrow here, I'm trying to restore it slightly. I've really felt, in awe of like this expanse that you really don't see in Singapore. It's more like something you see overseas, maybe the countryside. Even if you're not painting, I think you really need to see it with your own eyes to really like appreciate what I try to capture in my painting.
By preserving things, we don't want to just keep it behind closed doors, but we really want people to see them, appreciate them, and maybe identify with them.
I think Gallop's extension is very, very special. It took about 10 years for the whole conservation, so it has come a long way. And also, it's great for our next generation to recall the history, enjoy the beauty of these two buildings.